Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Varya Ashtotarshata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Srimad Bhagavatam Morning Class ki Yugadharma Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Shri Radha Gokulananda Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we will recite from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 9th chapter, text number 44. The chapter is entitled as The Appearance of the Demon Vritrasur. So please recite after the original recitation. Atho isha jahittvashtram Atho isha jahittvashtram Grasantam bhuvanatrayam Grasantam bhuvanatrayam Grastani yena naha Krishna Grastani yena naha Krishna Tejansyastra yudhani cha Tejansyastra yudhani cha Atho isha jahittvashtram Grasantam bhuvanatram Grastani yena naha Krishna Tejansyastra yudhani cha Atho isha jahittvashtram Grasantam bhuvanatrayam Grastani yena naha Krishna Tejansyastra yudhani cha Atho isha jahittvashtram Grasantam bhuvanatrayam Grastani yena naha Krishna Tejansyastra yudhani cha Atho isha jahittvashtram Grasantam bhuvanatrayam Grastani yena naha Krishna Tejansyastra yudhani cha Mothers, please. Grasantam Bhuvanatayam Grastani Yena Krishna Tejam Shastrani Mahajana. So, word for word translation. Atha, therefore, Isha, O Supreme Controller, Jahi, kill, Tvashram, the demon Vritrasur, son of Tvashta, Krasantam, who is devouring, Bhuvanatrayam, the three worlds, Krastani, devoured, Yena, by whom, Naha, our, Krishna, O Lord Krishna, Tejamsi, all strength and prowess, Astra, arrows, Ayudhani, and other weapons, Cha, also. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, O Lord, the Supreme Controller, O Lord Krishna, please annihilate this dangerous demon Vritrasur, Tvashta's son, who has already swallowed all our weapons, our paraphernalia for fighting, and our strength and influence. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, texts 15 and 16, Namam dushkritino mudhaha prapadyante naradhamaha mayaya pahrita jnana asuram bhavamashritaha chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritino arjuna arto jigyasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. O best among the Bharatas, Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. The 4 classes of neophyte devotees who approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to offer devotional service because of material motives are not pure devotees. But the advantage for such materialistic devotees is that they sometimes give up their material desires and become pure. When the demigods are utterly helpless, they approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in grief and with tears in their eyes, praying to the Lord, and thus they become almost pure devotees, free from material desires. They become almost pure devotees, free from material desires. Admitting that they have forgotten pure devotional service because of extensive material opportunities, they fully surrender to the Lord, leaving to His consideration whether to maintain them or annihilate them. Such surrender is necessary. Bhaktivedanta Thakur sings, Maravi Rakhavi Jo Ichha Tohara. O Lord, I fully surrender unto your lotus feet. Now, as you desire, you may protect me or annihilate me. You have the full right to do either. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. At the very outset of present day's discourse, I would like to initially offer my most respectfully prostrated obeisances unto the lotus feet of their transcendental lordships, Shri Shri Radha and Gokulananda, along with their transcendental companions and associates such as Shri Lalita Devi, Shri Vishakha Devi, Shri Rupa Rati Manjari, etc. And along with them, I would also like to submit my most respectfully prostrated submissive homages unto the lotus feet of their divine lordships, Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shri Shri Nityananda Prabhu, along with their perpetual divine entourage, consisting of Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, and all 6 Goswamis of Shri Dham Vrindavan. Finally, I would also like to pay my obeisances and due honorary respects unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada, who has been a supramundane adept in the matter of dispersing the transcendental path of devotional service, who has thus distributed Krishna consciousness throughout the world in this present modern era in most unique and fantastic, unprecedented way. Conclusively, I would also like to pay my obeisances and due respects unto the lotus feet of the initiating spiritual master, along with all the preceptorial spiritual masters, as well as all the senior Vaishnava devotees of the Lord present herein. And thereafter, now let us commence the context under discussion, especially the context and topic pertaining to the 44th verse found within the 9th chapter of the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is under current deliberation of ours. So, as we know from discussion which is ongoing since past recent days, that in this 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th chapter, 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein the appearance of the demon Vritrasura has been quite vividly depicted and quite elaborately delineated by Shukadeva Goswami. Actually, this 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is describing a central theme, which is one of the 10 themes of Srimad Bhagavatam. As we know, from the first verse of the 10th chapter of the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, during the discussion ensuing between Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami has described unto Maharaj Parikshit at that time the 10 characteristics or the 10 central themes which are being highlighted and emphatically emphasized upon in this treatise Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami thereupon says that Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam utayah manavanta manvantare shanukatha nirodho muktirashrayah. Shukdev Goswami says that these are the 10 themes mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. The first is known as Sarga. Sarga means the original or the primary or the elementary type of creation, which is done by the desire of Lord Karanodakshai Mahavishnu, who is the first Purusha incarnation. So when Karanodakshai Mahavishnu glances onto the material nature indirectly, at that time the material nature rather becomes imbalanced, and due to the imbalance in material nature, the Mahatattva and Pradhan, or the primordial aggregate Mahatattva, that is created, and the Mahatattva or Pradhan, due to the threefold diversity of the three modes of material nature, in turn becomes manifest and divided in many subsequent categories, like the Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 gross elements, earth, ether, water, fire, etc., and the Pancha Tanmatras, the 5 objects of senses, like touch, sound, taste, smell, etc., the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, Pancha Jnanendriyas, 5 action performing senses, Pancha Karmendriyas, the subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and the 10 predominating deities of those 10 senses. The Mahatattva becomes divided and transformed into all of these. This which has been mentioned in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. For that reason, Sarga is one of the themes being discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, the primary creation done by Lord Karanodakshai Mahavishnu. And then the second theme being discussed is Visarga. Visarga means the secondary or subsequent creation. The creation of the secondary type undertaken and performed by Lord Brahma. So that is known as Visarga. Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Udaya. And the third theme being highlighted in Srimad Bhagavatam is Sthanam. Sthanam means the maintenance or sustenance of this material creation done by Lord Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is in charge of the maintenance of this material world. And he is also present as the indwelling super soul within the heart of every living entities, Hrideshi Arjuna Tishtati Ishvaraha Sarvabhutanam, etc. So that is known as Sthanam, and the 4th characteristic being highlighted in Srimad Bhagavatam is Poshanam. So Poshanam means actually Sthanam. Yes, Sthanam means the maintenance of the material world and the planetary systems, and Poshanam means the personal protection given by the Lord unto his pure devotees. That is known as Poshanam, because Shukdev Goswami defines Poshanam as Poshanam Tat Anugraha. Tat Anugraha means the compassion, the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna upon his devotees, and thereupon the maintenance that the Lord does of his devotees by his own sweet will. So as it has been described in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Ananyaschintayanto mam ye janaha paripasate tesham nityam yuktanam yogakshemam vahamiham. The Lord personally takes care of his pure devotees and his protection. So therefore that is known as Poshanam. And so there are 6 characteristics or 10 characteristics mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Poshanam, Sthanam, Poshanam, Udaya. And Udaya means the various creative impetus, the various desires of creation in this material world. Udaya Karma Vasana, the various material desires, the creative impetus. That is known as Udaya. Manvantare Shanugatha. And Manvantar means the changing of different manus. Ishanugatha means the science of God and his various different incarnations. Nirodha means the winding up of the creation. Mukti means liberation, and Samam Bhanam or Ashraya is Shri Krishna. So generally the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered Ashraya Tattva, because within the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Samam Bhanam, Shri Krishna, the fountain source of all the other incarnations and expansions, and the fountain source and the root original cause of the whole material creation, Shri Krishna and his pastimes have been depicted in the 10th canto. Therefore, 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to describe the Ashraya Tattva. Whereas this 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered describing the principle of sthanam, which is the fourth principle. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam. Sarga, visarga, sthanam and poshnam. Yes, poshnam, the characteristic of poshnam is described in this 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada also describes and gives the title to this canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, prescribed duties for the mankind. Because poshnam doesn't only mean the gracious and compassionate maintenance of his devotees done by the Lord, but poshnam also includes the prescribed duties for the mankind as the characteristics of poshnam have been defined by Shukadeva Goswami. That includes that. So this 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam actually focuses on the 4th characteristic known as the characteristic of poshnam. So in the present canto, in the 9th chapter, especially the topic of the appearance of demon Vritrasura has been mentioned, and the demigods are found in the category of motivated devotees of the Lord. Actually, generally speaking, the demigods, they are considered Adikrita Dasas, as how Rupa Goswami puts in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the Nectar of Devotion. Rupa Goswami explains that there are 5 types of devotees in relationship with the Lord. Some are serving Him on the platform of the passive state of devotion, that is known as Shantarati, Shantaras. Some are serving the Lord in the mood of servitude. Those are known as the Dasya Bhaktas. So, the Dasya Bhaktas, they are divided into subsequent 4 categories. So, the 4 types of Dasya Bhaktas are generally known as the Anugas, the Ashritas, the Adikrita Dasas, and the Parshadas. These are the 4 types of devotees serving the Lord on the platform of the mood of servitude or Dasya Bhav. So Parshadas are the intimate and close associates of the Lord who are always present within the eternal pastimes of the Lord, which are ongoing either in Golok Vrindavan or in Dwarka or in Mathura or in Vaikuntha. In all these different transcendental realms, those eternal associates of the Lord who are always staying in close proximity to the Lord's presence and thereby who are serving the Lord in multifarious ways, those associates of the Lord are known as Parshada Bhaktas. They are also in Dasyara. They are also in Dasyaras, or the mellow of servitude. Then there are Anugas. Anugas means those devotees of the Lord who are followers of the Lord. They are known as Anugas. Then there are Ashritas. Ashritas means those devotees of the Lord who are completely dependent upon the Lord, who have taken total recourse and shelter of the Lord through the process of surrender or Atmanivedanam, through the process of Sharanagati. They are known as Ashritas. And then the 4th category of devotees found serving the Lord on the platform of Dasya Bhav are known as the Adikrita Dasas. Adikrita Dasas means those servants of the Lord who are especially empowered by the Lord to regulate and to look after and to supervise the many different departments and the many different duties of the material affairs. To supervise many different departments of this material world and to look after many different duties governing and administering this material world, that department has been given to the Adikrita Dasas, or those servants of the Lord who are empowered. Adikrita means those servants of the Lord who have been given some adhikar, who have been given some special potency of administration and some special potency and some special prowess of regulating the affairs of this material creation. Those servants of the Lord are also found on the platform of Dasya Bhav, reciprocating with the Lord. So those Adikrita Dasas are none other than the demigods or devatas headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Yamaraj, Varuna, Chandra, Surya, etc. All the 330 million demigods, and especially the 33 principal demigods among the 330 million demigods, the 33 demigods are considered the most principal demigods, the most important. So all of these 33 demigods, they are considered Adhikrita Dasas, or the servants of the Lord carrying out the duties of administration in this material world. So, it has been described that generally the characteristic of demons and devotees, it has been described in Padma Purana, actually in the 16th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Daivasura Sampad Vibhag Yoga, wherein Krishna segregately distincts and performs an in-depth analysis in regards to the difference in demeanor found within the Devatas and the difference in demeanor found within the Asuras. Krishna says that Dvau Bhuta Sargau Asmin Loke Daiva Asura Evacha Daivo Vistarashaha Proktaha Asuram Parthameshrano. That there are two types of created living beings found within this material universe or this material world, and some of them are known as Devatas or the demigods possessing divine nature, and some of them who are possessing the demoniac nature are thereby known as the Asuras or the Danavas or the Rakshasas. Daiva Asura Evacha. They are known as demons. Daivo Vistarashaha Proktaha. Oh Arjun, I have elaborately discussed on the qualities of the Devatas or the demigods, or the Daiva Swabhav or the nature befitting the demigods. Now I will speak to you, O Arjun, regarding the nature and qualities possessed by the demons and the persons who are possessed of the demoniac-like nature. Daivo Vistarashaha Proktaha Asuram Parthameshranu. Please listen from me that, O Arjun. So a similar type of verse is also found in Padma Purana. There also Lord Vyasadeva has written that Dvau Bhuta Sargau Asmin Loke Daiva Asura Evacha Vishnu Bhaktaha Smrito Daivaha Asuras Tad Viparyayaha. And in Padma Purana, Vyasadeva clarifies what he means by the word Devata and what he means by the word Asur. Vyasadeva clarifies, he says that there are two types of created living beings found in this material universe, and some of them are known as Devas or Devatas, and some of them are known as Asuras. Then he says that what I mean by the Devatas is Devo Vishnu Bhaktaha Smrito Daiva. That those who are demigods or like demigods, they are none other than the devotees of Lord Vishnu. That means all of those who are devotees of Lord Narayana, they are to be considered demigods. It doesn't matter that only the 330 million demigods of celestial paradise, of heaven, of Swargalok, only they should be considered demigods. No. Vyasadeva says that all the devotees of the Lord who are serving the Lord through the process of devotional service, they are to be generally known as Devatas or demigods, whether they be found within human species or some other species, they are all considered Devatas. So Vishnu Bhaktaha Smrito Daivaha Asuras Tad Viparyayaha. And the general definition of demon is that person who is completely contradictory to the devotees of the Lord, that person who is a non-devotee of the Lord, who is possessed of a complete reverse nature. Viparyaya means who is possessed of a complete reverse nature. That means who is not devotee of the Lord, who is completely opposite to the Devatas or the devotees of the Lord. That person or those people are known as Asuras or demons. Asuras Tad Viparyaya. So now here in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very interesting because the demigods so far have not realized that Vritrasur is actually not a demon, but greatest of all the Devatas, greatest of all the demigods, even exalted, superior and higher to them. Vritrasura, in terms of the gradation found within devotional service, Vritrasura is actually far more exalted, far more highly situated and superior to the Devatas. Why? Because Vritrasura is a pure devotee of the Lord. He is Maharaj Chitraketu. Whereas the demigods like Indra, Yam, and the Varuna, Surya, Chandra, etc., all these 330 million demigods of heaven, they are not actually pure devotees of the Lord. They are devotees of the Lord nonetheless, but they are not pure devotees of the Lord because they are motivated. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that these demigods of heaven are placed in the category of arthas. Arthas means those who are distressed. And sometimes they are also placed within the category of artharthis. So currently the demigods are placed both in the category of artha and artharthi. They are found in both the categories. Because the demigods are not only distressed by the havoc created by Vritrasur, but they are also wanting, they are also desirous of getting back their administrative powers and getting back the opulences, the heavenly opulences and the kingdom of heaven that they had actually possessed at one time. That they were actually possessing at one time, that heavenly kingdom, that Swargaloka, they want to regain, they want to reacquire the administration power of those heavenly planets. So therefore they are also considered artharthis, or hankering after the mundane opulences, the mundane wealth and the mundane name, fame and power. So therefore the demigods in this verse have been placed into the category of both the arthas and artharthis simultaneously. Therefore they are not the pure devotees of the Lord. On the other hand, Vritrasura may seem, according to outward, apparent, external vision, Vritrasura may seem to be a demon because he is embodied within the tamasic yoni. He is embodied within the body which is made up of mode of ignorance. Generally, the body of the asuras, generally the body or the species of demons is considered made up of the mode of ignorance. The mode of ignorance is predominant in the asuric yoni, in the species of demons. Therefore, because Maharaj Chitraketu, who is pure devotee of the Lord, having attained the stage of prema bhakti, having attained the stage of unalloyed pure devotional service of the Lord, Maharaj Chitraketu is completely unadulterated and unmotivated pure devotee of the Lord. Therefore, we will see that in this 6th chapter, in this 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, earlier it has been mentioned that Vritrasura had not actually offended Lord Shiva. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clarifies in his treatise known as Madhurya Kadambini that on the stage of Prema Bhakti, no one can fall down from the stage of Prema Bhakti. From the stage of Prema Bhakti, the only reason of living entities falling down from the path of devotional service is the chance or possibility of the performance of offenses or aparadhas. There are 4 types of aparadhas: dham aparadha, or offenses to the holy, transcendental holy abode of the Lord; Vaishnava aparadha, offenses to the pure devotees of the Lord; Nam aparadha, offenses to the holy name of the Lord; and Seva aparadha, offenses of 32 types found within the deity worship, Seva aparadha. So all these aparadhas, these offenses, the only chance of falling down from the path of devotional service is the possibility of the performance of offenses. And as Rupa Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti, actually especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as he clarifies in his treatise Madhurya Kadambini, that from the stage of sadhana bhakti there is a chance that one can fall down, because the possibility of the performance of offenses still remains on the platform of sadhana bhakti, which is the most initial stage of pure devotional practice. And then on the intermediate stage of devotional service, known as bhava bhakti, there still remains a chance of living entities fall down, of the sadhaka, of the practitioner of devotional service, of a devotee, of his fall down. The chance of the practitioner of devotional service and his fall down still remains on the platform of bhava bhakti, because the possibility of the performance of offenses still remains. But on the stage of Prema Bhakti, as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the Atyantiki Anartha Nivritti. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in Madhurya Kadambini that Anartha Nivritti is divided into 5 different levels, into 5 different stages. So Rupa Goswami says that after a devotee starts performing sadhana bhakti, he passes through the stage of Anartha Nivritti, which means the stage of the clearing of all sorts of contamination, all sorts of abhadras and anarthas. That means all sorts of unwanted items which are rather causing obstructions and impediments on the path of devotional progress. Those anarthas which are rather perceived as impediments and obstructions on the path of progressive devotional service, they are wiped out, they are totally eradicated and uprooted by the performance of sadhana bhakti during the stage of anartha nivritti. Therefore, adav shraddha tatah sadhu sango atha bhajan kriya tato anartha nivritti syat. After bhajan kriya, after sadhana bhakti, the stage of anartha nivritti, clearing of the contamination happens. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that there are 5 stages of anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti is actually 5-fold. It is found on 5 different levels. The first and initial level of the clearance of anarthas is known as Ekadesha Vyapini. So in short, we will not go in much detail in this class. Ekadesha Vyapini means only partial anarthas are removed. Only partial, or let's say 25% of the anarthas are removed. Then there is second stage of anartha nivritti, which is still higher, which is known as Bahudesha Vyapini. And this Bahudesha Vyapini is that anartha nivritti wherein many of the anarthas are removed. Not just some, but many of the anarthas are removed. Let us say 50%. Then comes the stage of Prayiki anartha nivritti. Prayiki anartha nivritti. And Prayiki anartha nivritti is that stage wherein almost majority of the anarthas are removed. Prayiki. That means, let us say, 75% of the anarthas. And then comes the stage of Purna anartha nivritti. Purna anartha nivritti means the stage where all the anarthas are completely removed. Purna means complete removal, complete eradication, complete and total uprooting of all anarthas. That is known as Purna anartha nivritti. And after the Purna anartha nivritti, Ekadesh Vyapini, Bahudesha Vyapini, Prayiki, Purna and Atyantiki, the 5th level and the last and the ultimate level of anartha nivritti after Purna is known as Atyantiki anartha nivritti. So, what's the difference between Purna anartha nivritti and Atyantiki anartha nivritti? The difference is that on the stage of Atyantiki anartha nivritti, ultimate eradication of the anarthas occurs. Atyantiki means ultimate. The word Atyantiki is literally defined as ultimate, as meaning ultimate. Ultimate eradication of anarthas happen. And Purna anartha nivritti means complete eradication. Purna means complete and Atyantiki means ultimate. There is subtle difference. And what is the subtle difference? Vishwanath Chakravarti clarifies that on the stage of Bhava Bhakti, Purna anartha nivritti happens without any doubt. That means all the anarthas, they are wiped out. But the seed of those anarthas is still not wiped out. The anarthas are wiped out in totality. Anarthas are not seen in a devotee who is on the platform of Bhava Bhakti. He doesn't have these anarthas anymore, but the seed of the anarthas is still there. So seed of those anarthas can sprout again at any time. The possibility of that seed to become sprouted still remains on the stage of Bhava Bhakti. But on the stage of Prema Bhakti, what happens? That the very seed of all anarthas is burned down. Therefore, is seed, even in this material world, a seed of any plant or a seed of any other creeper or plant or tree, which is burned down by fire, that seed doesn't have anymore the power to reproduce or to regrow. Therefore, on the level of Prema Bhakti, what happens is that the very seed of all the anarthas is completely burned down. Therefore, that seed of anarthas doesn't have the power to regrow or to remanifest itself. Therefore, that type of eradication of anarthas is rather known as the ultimate eradication, Atyantiki anartha nivritti. And therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti claims that on the stage of Prema Bhakti, there is no possibility that a devotee can ever fall down, because the root cause of falling down is the performance of offenses. But the performance of offenses cannot occur if the root cause of all sorts of anarthas is completely wiped out. Therefore, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti, and Vishwanath Chakravarti also quotes the example of Chitraketu Maharaj in Madhuri Kalandini, and he tries to establish that actually King Chitraketu had become pure devotee of the Lord Sankarshan. Lord Sankarshan, the second quadruple expansion of Lord Krishna, the second Chaturvyuha. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, these four transcendental deities are found within the second quadruple expansion of Vaikuntha. So that Lord Mahasankarshan, who is present within the second quadruple expansion of Vaikuntha, he was the chosen worshipable deity of Maharaj Chitraketu. And Maharaj Chitraketu had direct face-to-face transcendental vision of Lord Sankarshan. So this proves that he was on the level of Prema Bhakti. His devotional service had reached its perfection. The devotional service of Maharaj Chitraketu had reached its perfection. Therefore he was on the level of Prema Bhakti, and therefore he was able to directly envision and reciprocate with Lord Mahasankarshan of Vaikuntha. Therefore Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur claims that there cannot be any possibility on part of Maharaj Chitraketu that he can perform any sort of offense unto Lord Shiva. So the offense which it seems that Maharaj Chitraketu has performed some sort of offense by insulting Lord Shiva sarcastically, and therefore Mother Parvati had to become angry. But the reality is that on the level of Prema Bhakti, no one can perform offense, and therefore no one can fall down from the path of devotional service. So Vishwanath Chakravarti finally concludes that actually Maharaj Chitraketu has not fallen down, because the result of performing aparadha is spiritual fall down, not material fall down. And spiritual fall down, what is the prescribed result of performing aparadha? How do the Shastras define the result of performing aparadha? The inevitable result of performing any sort of aparadha, Vaishnava aparadha, Nama aparadha, Dhama aparadha or Seva aparadha, the inevitable result of performing any type of aparadha is that the internal attachment and the internal devotional mood found within the heart of a devotee for the Lord starts deteriorating, starts waning, starts fading away. That is the real result of aparadha. Okay, by the performance of aparadha, some type of material calamity can also befall, but that is not considered the real result of aparadha. The real result, the real consequence, the actual consequence of aparadha is that the devotional service and the seed of devotional service, which is found within the heart of a devotee, starts getting destroyed, or it starts fading away. It becomes destroyed. Devotional service, the creeper of devotional service becomes destroyed, because offenses are considered to be like mad elephant offense. Therefore, now Vishwanath Chakravarti claims that if we see the life and character of Maharaj Chitraketu, we will find that Maharaj Chitraketu has not actually fallen down. Because if he would have actually fallen down, then he wouldn't have prayed unto Lord Narayana at the time of his death. When Lord Indra will struck Vritrasura by the divine celestial weapon of thunderbolt, Vajrastra, by the divine celestial weapon known as thunderbolt or Vajrastra, which will be made by using the bones of Dadichi Rishi. When Indra will struck Vritrasura and he will kill Vritrasura by that Vajra, at that time when Vritrasura is about to die and relinquish his demoniac body, his asuric yoni, at that time Vritrasura is praying in 5 to 6 different verses. He is expressing the fervent, hearty emotions surcharged with and concentrated with high-grade devotional service unto the Lord. He will submit those prayers which are surcharged with fervent, heartfelt devotional emotions of the heart towards the Lord. Ajanta paksha iva mataram khagaha stanyam yatha vatsataraha kshudarthaha priyam priyeva gyiditam visharna manorathe nasati didikshate tvam. So all these verses spoken by Vritrasura, they prove, they verify that Vritrasura is actually pure devotee of the Lord. And if Vritrasura had actually performed an offense of Lord Shiva, either directly or indirectly, either sarcastically or deliberately, the creeper of devotional service or the seed of devotional service within his heart, the attachment for the Lord within his heart would have become completely vanquished. But rather, the opposite of that is seen. By hearing the prayers of Vritrasur, rather, Lord Indra has felt bashful and ashamed that, oh, I have killed such a great devotee of Lord Narayana. I am nothing. In terms of devotional service, in terms of the progress in devotional service, I am nothing compared to Vritrasur. Indra himself will become astonished later on in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the reality is that Vritrasura may seem to be a demon outwardly, but actually he is the best and the pure of all the devotees of Lord Vishnu. That's why Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daivaha, Vritrasura is actually a Devata, real Devata. Whereas Indra and all these other demigods who are generally known as Devatas, they can be considered Devatas because they are devotees of the Lord, but not of the purest and of the unadulterated type. So, that is why it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Vaishnaver Kriya Mudra Vigyena Bhajai. By looking at the outward, external activities of a Vaishnava, sometimes a Vaishnava of a very advanced level is not recognized by the common people as a Vaishnava. So Vritrasura externally seems to be a demon, but he is the pure devotee of the Lord. Completely contradictory to demon, he is the highest Devata. So now, these demigods who can be called Devatas in a general sense, because they are also devotees of the Lord, and any devotee of the Lord can be considered Devata, but they are devotees of the Lord having sakam bhakti in their heart, having motivated devotional service in their heart, therefore they are known as some sort of devotees. And as we saw from Bhaktivedanta Sindhu, they are Anikrita Dasas, specially empowered by the Lord for governing this universe. So it has been said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that there are 4 types of people who do not surrender unto him. Namam tushkritino mutaha prapatyante naratamaha maya apahrita jnana asuram bhavamashrita. And then there are 4 types of people who are very pious, sukritivan, and they surrender unto the Lord. Chaturvida bhajanti mam janaha sukritino arjuna artu jigyasur artharti jnana cha bharadarshava. As Srila Prabhupada comments that these 4 types of people who surrender unto the Lord, they are not pure devotees of the Lord because they are materially motivated. And as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, while commenting on this verse of Bhagavad Gita in his Sararth Varshini commentary, and Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, also while commenting on this verse of Gita in his Gita Bhushana Bhashya, all of them agree that, and especially Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Vaishnava Toshni commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam, he also agrees that none of these 4, those who are distressed, artha, those who are ardharti, desire of wealth or mundane opulences, jigyasu, those who are materially inquisitive, and jnani, those who are possessed of the knowledge of realizing the impersonal feature of the Lord. None of these are actually considered pure devotees of the Lord. So, the example of arthas or distressed, the foremost example is the example of Gajendra elephant. He was distressed and therefore he surrendered to the Lord. He surrendered his body, mind, speech and his very self. Gajendra surrendered Kayena Vacha Manasendriyaiva Buddhyat Manava Prakritihi Swabhava Karoti Yadyad Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Yeti Samarpayami. Gajendra surrendered his body, his mind, his speech and his very self, his very soul in the service of the Lord so that he might be granted protection from the Lord. So therefore Gajendra is considered foremost example of all the Artha Bhaktas, of all the distressed, of all the devotees who are seeking shelter of the Lord because they are distressed. Then the foremost example of Ardharti, desire of wealth, those devotees who are desire of wealth, is Maharaj Dhruv. This is how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this verse in his Sararth Varshini commentary. So the foremost example of the desire of wealth is Dhruv Maharaj. He was desiring the wealth, but after that, Lord Prishni Garbha appeared in front of Maharaj Dhruv. And after that, the Lord made his conch shell touch the cheeks of Maharaj Dhruv, and after that Maharaj Dhruv got the transcendental touch of Lord's conch shell, the desires, the material desire of gaining wealth and gaining kingdom of his father completely vanquished from his heart. So, at first Gajendra was distressed, Arthur, but then later on he became a pure devotee. At first, Maharaj Dhruv was also materially motivated, but after that he became pure devotee. Artho Jityasu, and then comes inquisitive. So the foremost example of those who are inquisitive are the 88,000 sages of Naimisharanya, especially headed and represented by Shaunak Rishi, by Shaunak Muni. Those 88,000 sages of Naimisharanya, they are considered inquisitive. Their motive after listening Srimad Bhagavatam was not a motive of pure devotional service. That motive of listening to various different Puranas and Srimad Bhagavatam was not for the sake of pure devotional surrender, but that motive was to just increase their knowledge. They were, materially speaking, they were inquisitive. But after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, nonetheless, then they turn into pure devotees of the Lord. So the foremost example of the Jityasus or the inquisitive are the 88,000 sages of Naimisharanya headed by Shaunak. And then Jnani, the foremost example of the Jnanis, or those who are seeking the shelter of the Lord in order to get liberation, Mukti Ichha. Those Jnanis, the foremost example of Jnanis are the four Kumaras, the sons of Lord Brahma. And those four Kumaras who are considered the ideal example of Jnanis, or those who are aspiring after liberation. Those four Kumaras, after that they had the transcendental vision of Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha, they became pure devotees of the Lord, and this has been substantiated in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the following verse: Tasyaravinda nayanena padaravinda kinjal kamishra tulasi makaranda vayuhu. That as soon as the four Kumaras they entered into the transcendental Vaikuntha planet, and from a distance the fragrance of those tulsi leaves which were offered unto the lotus feet of Lord Narayan, the fragrance of those tulsi leaves, it entered into the nostrils of those four Kumaras from a great distance. And as soon as the fragrance entered into the nostrils of the four Kumaras, they became pure devotees, even devoid of the desire of being liberated or getting liberation. So, all these four types of motivated devotees, they can become transformed into pure devotees of the Lord if they get the association of the pure devotees of the Lord, by the mercy of the pure devotees of the Lord, and by the mercy of the Lord Himself, they can turn into pure devotees. That's why Shukdev Goswami was also a Jnani, Brahma Jnani. He was also aspiring after liberation, and actually he had acquired the liberated status. He was Brahma Bhuta, he was Jivan Mukta. He was liberated in this very life, but still he became attracted to serving the lotus feet of the Lord, and he considered the concept of liberation to be very insignificant in front of the concept of devotional surrender, and therefore he rejected the path of Dhyan, or the path of impersonal liberation and monastic knowledge, and he rather chose the path of pure devotional service. That's why Atma Ramashcha Munayo Nirgrantha Apyurukrame Kurvantya Hitukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. So all these verses, they prove that if the four types of devotees who are motivated, materially motivated, if they get the association of pure devotees of the Lord, then they can become transformed into pure devotees of the Lord. Therefore, it has been advised in Srimad Bhagavatam that whether a person is materially motivated, sakam, or whether a person is having the motive of liberation, mokshakam, or whether a person is having no motive of either liberation or material sense gratification, but who is having the motive of only serving the Lord without any other desire, just for the satisfaction of the Lord. All the three types of candidates, they should only surrender unto the Lord. Whether they are sakamis, materially motivated, hankering after material sense gratification like the demigods here, or whether they are mokshakamis, hankering and aspiring after liberation of 5 types, like the 4 Kumaras and like the Shukdev Goswami, or whether they are completely devoid of all sorts of desires of liberation or sense gratification, and they are just trying to satisfy the Lord. All the 3 types of devotees, akama sarvakamo mokshakamo darati tiprana bhakti yogena yajit purusham param, they should only surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Why the sakamis? Why those who are infested with the material desires of sense gratification? Why shouldn't they surrender to other demigods? Because if they will surrender to Lord Krishna, then Lord Shri Krishna, being the well-wisher of all the living entities and being the father, mother and maintainer of all the living entities, Pitahamasi Jagato Mata Dhata Pitamaha and Sukritaha Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Pranchati, being the well-wisher of all living entities, what he will do is he will gradually wipe out those material desires of sense gratification and liberation from the hearts of his Artha, Jigyasu, Artharthi and Jnani type of devotees. Whereas the demigods, they will just act like a commercial trader. They will not wipe out the desires of their worshippers, rather they will just grant and fulfill immediately and instantly the desire of their worshippers, and then the desire of their worshippers continuously grows and never ceases. Therefore, it is advised that whether a person is sakami, mokshakami or akami, devotee, pure devotee, aspiring after liberation, jnani, or karmi, aspiring after sense gratification, all the 3 types should only surrender unto Lord Vishnu and no one else, because only Lord Vishnu, being the well-wisher and father and guardian of all the living entities, has the natural compassion to make all the living entities who surrender into him into his pure devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, any questions or comments? Yes.
If it's impossible to pull down from frame of bhakti,
Yeah.
can I conclude then that I've never been on that platform originally?
Yes. The Prema Bhakti platform, no one can fall down, and if some sort of seeming fall down occurs, it is not an actual fall down. It is not an actual fall down. It is some sort of seeming fall down. Like Vritrasura is embodied within a demonic species. So it seems that he has fallen down. So some sort of seeming or apparent fall down happens, then it shouldn't be considered actual fall down. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti agrees that not even Jai and Vijay have actually fallen down, because they are associates of Lord Narayan. They are the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha. They can never fall down. After attaining the stage of Prema Bhakti, only then a person is eligible to enter into the transcendental planets of Vaikuntha. Before that, no one can enter into Vaikuntha. The spiritual world is the place of perfected people. It's not the place for the sadhakas. It's the place for the siddhas. So generally, after attaining the stage of Prema Bhakti, only then one enters into Vaikuntha. So Jai and Vijay, they are not even the Nitya Siddha Parshadas. They are not even the Sadhana Siddha Parshadas. Rather, they are the Nitya Siddha Parshadas. Jai and Vijay, they are not Sadhana Siddha. Sadhana Siddha means those living entities who are conditioned in this material world, and after the performance of Bhakti, those who have acquired eligibility to enter into Vaikuntha, and then those who have become associates of the Lord, they are known as Sadhana Siddha Parshad. But Jai and Vijay, they are the Nitya Siddha Parshad. They have never fallen down into the material world like us. They are the products of internal potency of the Lord. They are not products of the marginal potency. It is described by the Acharyas that the Nitya Siddha Parshadas, they are coming from the internal potency. Whereas all the other living entities, including the Sadhana Siddha Parshad, they are all coming from the marginal potency. So, Jai and Vijay, who are coming from the internal potency of the Lord, who are not like us, the Jivatmas, they have never fallen down into this material world, and they are always from time without beginning, they are always on the level of Prema Bhakti, and they are serving the Lord in a very intimate way. So therefore, they cannot actually fall down. Their fall down is only a seeming fall down. So sometimes it may happen that the seeming fall down may happen, but that's not actually a fall down. Just like the example of a mirage is given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Water found in a mirage, or the seeming, the illusory water found in a mirage from a distance. that illusory water is not actually water, it is just an illusion. In the same way, this seeming aparadha is not actually an aparadha, it is just an illusion. It's not a real aparadha. So yes, the final conclusion is that around from the stage of Prema Bhakti, no one can fall down. Yes?
Does Prema Bhakti exist in Vaikuntha outside of the Vrindavan?
Well, there are two types of Prema Bhaktis. But this law of not falling down from Prema Bhakti applies to both the types of Prema Bhaktis. So there are two types of Prema Bhaktis. Because there are two types of concepts. The first is the concept of Aishwarya. Aishwarya means the mood of majesty or reverence. That is Aishwarya, the concept of Aishwarya, Aishwarya Bhav. And the second is the concept of Madhurya, or the mood of sweetness, which is completely devoid from awe, reverence, veneration, and majesty. So devotional service is of two different types. The devotional service which is full with awe and reverence, and the devotional service which is devoid of awe reverence. So Prema Bhakti is of two different types. Because Sadhana Bhakti is of two different types, therefore Bhava Bhakti also becomes two different types. And because the Bhava Bhakti is of two different types, the resultant of Bhava, which is Prema Bhakti, that also becomes transformed into two different categories. So it is described that one example is given that just like milk is milk, but still milk is of two different types. The milk of, especially if you come to India, milk of buffalo and milk of a cow. Milk of a cow and milk of a buffalo. Both are milk, but still there is some specific difference. So the Prema Bhakti, which is full with Aishwarya Gyan, that Prema Bhakti is little different from the Prema Bhakti which is full with Madhurya Bhav. So there are two types of sadhan bhaktis, the Vaidhi sadhan bhakti and the Raganuga sadhan bhakti, as Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So from Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, Bhava Bhakti arises, and from the Raganuga sadhan bhakti also Bhava Bhakti arises. Now, what is the cause of sadhan bhakti? What is the root cause of sadhan bhakti? That is Shraddha. That's why Shraddha has been considered to be seed of the devotional creeper. Both in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Mahaprabhu is giving instructions to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, and also in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Adav Shraddha. The root cause, the seed of sadhan bhakti is Shraddha. From the seed of Shraddha, the creeper of devotional service arises and gradually becomes manifest. So Shraddha is of two different types, as Jiva Goswami explains in Bhakti Sandarbh, and as Bhaktivedanta Thakur explains in Bhakti Tattva Vivek. There are two different types, and as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also explains in Raghavartma Chandrika, there are two different types of Shraddhas. There are two different types of seeds of devotional service. So the first is known as Bhagavad Leela Madhurya Lobhamayi Shraddha, as how Bhaktivedanta Thakur puts it. And the another is known as Shastrarth Avadharana Mayi Shraddha, or that faith which is arising from the scriptures is Shastrarth Avadharana Mayi Shraddha. And that faith which arises by spontaneous attraction upon hearing the pastimes of the Lord, or upon seeing the great enchanting form of the Lord, that faith which arises from that is known as Bhagavad Leela Madhurya Lobhamayi Shraddha. So because of the two different types of Shraddhas, two different types of sadhan bhaktis become manifest. From the Shastrarth Avadharanamayi Shraddha becomes manifest the Vaidhi sadhan bhakti. And from the Bhagavad Leela Madhurya Lobhamayi Shraddha becomes manifest the Raganuga sadhan bhakti. When Raganuga sadhan bhakti becomes perfect, it gives rise to Bhava Bhakti. And when Vaidhi sadhan bhakti becomes perfect, that also gives rise to Bhava Bhakti. And when the Bhava Bhakti of the Raganuga type becomes condensed, it turns into Prema Bhakti. And when the Bhava Bhakti of the Vaidhi type becomes condensed, that also turns into Prema Bhakti. But what's the difference? The Prema Bhakti, which is resultant of Vaidhi Bhakti, is permeated with the moods of awe, reverence and majesty, Aishwarya Bhav. And that Prema Bhakti will take its practitioner to Vaikuntha, and to Mathura, and to Dwarka, and to Ayodhya, but not to Vrindavan. And that Prema Bhakti, which is completely devoid of Aishwarya, or the moods of opulence, awe, reverence and majesty, will take its practitioner directly to Golok Vrindavan. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also says in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4th chapter, he reveals the mind of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna sitting in Golok Vrindavan, he thinks that through the process of through that prema bhakti which is full with Aishwarya Bhav, no one can enter into Vraja Leela, into Vrindavan Leela. They are only eligible to enter into Vaikuntha Leela and some other parts like Ayodhya, Mathura, Dwarka, etc. But not in the Vrindavan Leela. And that's why Krishna says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Aishwarya Shikila Prema Nahi Mora Preet Vidhi Bhakti Vrajabhav Paite Nahi Shakti. Through Vaidhi Bhakti only one can never enter into the pastimes of Vrindavan. One can never become associate of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan Leela. Therefore, Vaidhi Bhakti is recommended on initial stage, but later on the emphasis is put on Raganuga Bhakti, because without that one will never be considered eligible to enter into Vrindavan Leela. He can only enter in Dwarka, Mathura, Ayodhya and Vaikuntha and other planets like Narsingha Lok, Vaman Lok, etc. but not in Vrindavan. That's the final conclusion of the Acharyas in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yes.
What I'm asking is like, does something like that actually exist in the spiritual world where it's possible for Jesus to pull back?
Well, one cannot enter either in Vaikuntha or in Golok Vrindavan. One cannot enter into spiritual world if one is only on the level of Bhav Bhakti. He has to come to the level of Prema Bhakti, only then he can enter. Because spiritual world is the place of perfected devotees. Those devotees who have become perfect through their sadhana. It's not place for those who are still not perfect. And according to Rupa Goswami, Bhava Bhakti is not the level of perfection. It may be stage almost near to perfection, almost near, like 95%. But it is still not considered the stage of perfection. So you cannot still enter into the spiritual world. And even after attaining the platform of Prema Bhakti, one does not enter directly into the Golok Vrindavan of the spiritual sky. One first has to enter and take part and participate in the pastimes of Lord Krishna occurring in material world. Because Lord Krishna manifests his pastimes on the Vrindavan which is found on this material world also. The Vrindavan which is found on this earth planet known as Bhauma Vrindavan. Brihad Bhagavatamritam, there is a clear difference between the Bhauma Vrindavan and the Golok Vrindavan. So, Krishna's pastimes in earthly Vrindavan, Bhauma Vrindavan, are incessantly going on without any interruption. Continuously they are going on. How? Because Vishwanath Chakravarti explains at the end of Raghavana Chandrika that when Krishna's pastimes in one particular universe, they become unmanifest, then his pastimes simultaneously become manifest in the Vrindavan found within some other material universe. See, every universe has an earth planet, and every earth planet found within every universe of this material world has a Vrindavan Dham, known as Bhauma Vrindavan, or the earthly Vrindavan. And Krishna's pastimes, suppose Krishna came in this particular universe or Brahmanda 5,000 years ago, and he stayed on the earth planet for 125 years. That is how much Krishna manifested his Pragat Leela for. That is how much time that he manifested his Leela. So he stayed and manifested his Leela for 125 years. And after 125 years, his pastimes became unmanifest. So where has Krishna gone? He has now entered into some other universe. In this material world, he has entered into some other universe of Brahmanda. He has entered into some other earth of some other universe, some other Prithviloka found within some other Brahmanda, and now he is manifesting his pastimes in the Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka of that particular universe. So Krishna's pastimes, even his Pragat Leela, even his manifest pastimes are continuously going on without any interruption. And Vishwanath gives the example of the sun. Sunrise and the sunset. Sun rises doesn't mean that the sun was not existing before the sunrise, and sun sets doesn't mean that sun has now become destroyed. Now the sun doesn't exist anymore. No, it doesn't imply that. Sun still exists after the sunset and the sun still existed before the sunrise. In the same way, the Pragat Leela, manifest pastimes are continuously going on. The point Vishwanatha makes is that before sadhaka or a devotee enters into Golok Vrindavan of the spiritual sky, he has to enter and participate in Krishna's pastimes found within this material world. In the Pragat Leela, he first enters. And after the Pragat Leela, in that particular universe comes to an end, then he is transported to Golok Vrindavan. It's not an automatic transportation. There are many steps involved between. After that, the gross and subtle bodies are relinquished by the devotee who is on the level of Prema Bhakti. He first enters into Krishna's pastimes which are taking place in this material world. And then, after those pastimes are unmanifest, then he enters into Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha or Ayodhya. It's the same principle applied everywhere. Yes?
So how do you understand when the Acharyas say that we're originating with Krishna spiritual world?
Yes. Yeah, Bhaktivedanta Thakur explains very clearly in the 16th and 17th chapters of Jaiva Dharma. He says that the living entities were present in the spiritual world as fragmental portions of the Sankarshan found within the second quadruple expansion. According to Bhaktivedanta Thakur, there are three types of living beings in Jaiva Dharma. He says that the living beings who are the products of the marginal potency, their root source is the Sankarshan of the second quadruple expansion who is residing in Vaikuntha. And then there are other two types of living beings who are known as Nitya Siddhas. They are not Nitya Baddhas like us. They are Nitya Siddhas, eternally liberated. And those Nitya Siddhas, some of them become manifest from Srimati Radharani and some of them become manifest from Sri Balram. Sri Balram of Vrindavan. Some of the Nitya Siddhas, they become manifest from Sri Balram of Vrindavan, and some of the Nitya Siddhas, they become manifest from Srimati Radhika. So all the female associates of Sri Krishna and his various incarnations, like Ram, Narsingh, Narayan, etc., all the female associates who are of Nitya Siddha type, they become manifest from Srimati Radhika. And all the male associates of Sri Krishna and his different incarnations who are of Nitya Siddha type, they become manifest from Sri Balram of Vrindavan. So even Lakshmi Devi of Vaikuntha, even Rukmini Satyabhama, Lalita Vishakha, even Mother Yashoda, all of the female associates, they become manifest originally from Srimati Radhika. And all the male associates of Krishna and his incarnations of Nitya Siddha caliber, they become manifest from Balram of Vrindavan. But those who are Nitya Baddhas, now the Nitya Siddhas are not products of marginal. Nitya Siddhas are products of the internal potency of the Lord, Antaranga Shakti, not the Tatastha Shakti, not the marginal. So the living entities like us, who are products of the marginal potency of the Lord, our source is only one, and that is the Mahasankarshan found in the second quadruple expansion of Vaikuntha. That Mahasankarshan is our original cause. So when Mahasankarshana expands into Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu, who is the first Purusha incarnation. Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu is the first Purusha incarnation who manifests from Mahasankarshan of Vaikuntha. So what happens is that all the living entities, us, the Nitya-Baddha Jivatmas, we are originally present dormant within the body of within the body of Sankarshan. Actually, we are found in the body of Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu, but Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu also makes himself merged into the body of Sankarshan. So in that sense, the living entities are indirectly merged into Mahasankarshan. The living entities are directly merged into Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu, and Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu in turn again becomes merged into Mahasankarshan of the second quadruple in Vaikuntha. Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu leaves the marginal world, leaves the causal ocean, and enters into spiritual world, Vaikuntha, and enters into the Mahasankarshan of the second quadruple. And for some time, he stays in Vaikuntha. Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu stays in Vaikuntha, stays inside the body of Mahasankarshan with all the living entities. And then after some time, he again comes out. So this process of entering into Mahasankarshan, again coming out to the marginal, again going back to the spiritual world, again coming from spiritual world back to the marginal world, this process reoccurs. So there are 4 types of pralay. Pralay means annihilation. There are 4 types of annihilations found in this material world, and they are vividly described in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the 4th type of annihilation, which is the ultimate annihilation, Atyantik Pralay, as Vyasadeva names it, Atyantika Pralay. In the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, this is described. So Atyantik Pralay or ultimate annihilation means even Karanodakshai Mahavishnu leaves the marginal world, causal ocean, enters into the spiritual world, enters into the body of Mahasankarshan, along with all the living entities. So, for the time being he stays there and then he again comes out. Therefore, and the original cause of Karanodakshai Mahavishnu is Mahasankarshan. Therefore, the original cause of all the living entities is also Mahasankarshan. And therefore, the original cause and the original place from where the living entities have originally become manifest is also Vaikuntha or the spiritual world. So all these things are harmonized in a very nice way. If we understand the difference between 3 different categories, the Nitya Siddhas, Sadhan Siddhas, Nitya Baddhas, etc. Everything is harmonized. No conflict remains. Any other question? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Please title the first canto as creation.
Yeah.
And the second canto as the
Secondary creation, yes.
In the 11th canto, the dialogue of this one is mentioned that it should not be taken that those 10
Yeah.
major characters
Yeah.
are assigned one canto.
Yeah. It's not a fixed assigned. Fixed assigned. Yeah.
But it is all 10
Yeah.
discussed in each.
Yeah. Actually, all the 10 characteristics, this is a very nice point. All the 10 characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam, like Sarga, Visarga, etc., they are found within every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, generally speaking. But even then, some particular characteristic is found more predominantly in a particular canto. So in that sense, the cantos are named like the Sarga, Visarga, etc. The first canto is named as the primary creation, second canto is named as secondary creation. Even though second canto has and the first canto has all the 10 characteristics, but still it depends on which characteristic is more prominent in that particular canto, and then the name is assigned like that. Yeah.
So my question is, if you get to the 10th canto, which you said is the Ashram, Krishna, where is the need for the 11th canto, which is called Bhakti?
Yeah, this is a very complex topic. There have been very, very long debates on this topic by many different acharyas between themselves, like Sridhar Swami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sanatan Sridhar Swami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and Baldev Vidyabhushan. All of them are commentators on Srimad Bhagavatam. They have all written respective commentaries on Bhagavatam. So they, according to them, the Sarga, Visarga, etc., they start from 3rd canto. Like 3rd canto is Sarga, 4th canto is Visarga. So in that sense, the 12th canto should be Ashray. Right? 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 12th canto is the 10th. So 12th canto should be narrating the 10th characteristic, which is the Ashray. But then the Sridhar Swami, Sanatan Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti, they say that actually 12th canto is not Ashray, 10th canto is Ashray. 11th and 12th cantos are Nirod and Mukti. So it's not in the same consecutive order. The 10th characteristic is Ashray, So the 12th canto should be Ashray. If we start counting from 3rd canto, the 12th canto should be Ashray because that's the last characteristic. But rather the 10th canto is Ashray, which should have been considered as Nirodh is considered Ashray. If we go in the order, numerical order. So according to the Acharyas, especially Jeev Vishwanath and Sridhar Swami, the order is little reversed when we reach the 10th canto. Now according to Sri Vallabhacharya, who is also one of the commentators on Srimad Bhagavatam, according to him also the enumeration of the 10 characteristics starts from the 3rd canto. So in that he is having the same opinion as the other Acharyas. Like 3rd canto is the Sarga, 4th canto is the Visarga. But Vallabhacharya says that one should go in the numerical order. One should not think that 10th canto is Ashray. One should think that 10th canto is Nirodh, 11th canto is Ashray, 11th canto is Mukti, and the 12th canto is Ashray. One should go in the numerical order, one should not try to break the numerical order. According to Vallabhacharya, that is his opinion. And Srila Prabhupada, he starts counting from the very first canto. Srila Prabhupada considers the first canto to be Sarga. As opposed to the other Acharyas, Prabhupada's view is that the first canto is the Sarga, second canto is the Visarga, third canto is like that. Sthanam, Poshanam, Utayaha, Manamantam. So, yes. But now the thing is, if we go deep into the definitions of these 10 characteristics, then it is found that whatever Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti and Sridhar Swami and Srila Prabhupada are saying is not actually contradictory. It seems apparently as a contradiction, but actually it is not contradictory, because if we see the in-depth explanation of these 10 characteristics given by the various acharyas in their commentaries, then it is harmonized. If Srila Prabhupada considers the first canto to be the Sarga, then that is actually harmonized, because ultimately it supports the main definition of the 10 characteristics. So, and because every canto is describing all the 10 characteristics, so if we think that the first canto is Sarga, and if we think that third canto is Sarga, it doesn't make much difference. It is just a difference of viewpoint. Because the ultimate, as you pointed out, the ultimate conclusion is that every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is describing all the 10 points, all the 10 themes. Not that only one canto describing one theme and the another canto describing another. No, every canto is describing all the 10. So the first canto can also be considered Sarga in that sense. It is just a difference of viewpoint. In that sense, we can harmonize the interpretation of all the acharyas. The relevance of 11th and 12th canto is there because 11th and 12th cantos are considered Nirodha and Mukti according to the other acharyas. And according to Srila Prabhupada, 10th canto is the last canto, 11th and 12th canto are not describing any other characteristic. Predominantly speaking. Prominently speaking, no other characteristic is describing 11th and 12th canto. But even then, the 12th canto is considered the age of deterioration, as Prabhupada puts it, and the 11th canto is considered liberation. No, sorry, not liberation. 11th canto is considered the history, the general history. Yeah, but it is naturally inferred through the logic. It's naturally the inference is there that because Prabhupada started naming from first, second, third, etc., therefore 10th canto is the last canto according to Prabhupada, and the 11th and the 12th cantos are, not prominently displaying the 10 symptoms or any of the 10 symptoms. So that's why Hridayananda Goswami Maharaj has named 11th and 12th cantos to be the age of deterioration and to be the general history, like that.
The 11th canto is considered such import because of the Bhaktivedanta.
Yeah, but actually the reality is all the 12 cantos are having all the 10 characteristics. That's the reality. there is difference in viewpoint. Every specific acharya has a difference in viewpoint. The way he sees every kind of Bhagavatam, it differs. The way every acharya sees. So we have 3 to 4 different opinions in this matter. So, but the general conclusion is whole Bhagavatam is mentioning 10 qualities, and therefore every part of Srimad Bhagavatam is relevant. Nothing is irrelevant. Every part of Bhagavatam is relevant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Gokuleshwar Bhagwan ki, Gokulanand Bhagwan ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare 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 Krishna.
Jai.